Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Zenithan, and welcome to today's video for Legends of Runeterra. Spoiler season is still here. Last day of spoiler season 2, and we will get Rise of the Underworld soon. We also have a big balance patch too, which I'll talk about in another video, but today's video is for specifically, at least the current video, is specifically to talk about the newly revealed cards. And the newly revealed cards are the card I was looking forward to the most, in my opinion, and that is EKKO, and a couple of other cards too. I like him. I like the card. I don't know if it's going to be good or anything, but I really, really like EKKO. So, enough talking. Let's look at the card. Okay. So I don't know how long this video is going to be. It's probably going to be a shorter video because there's not that many cards here. It's just EKKO, his champion spell, and that's honestly it, in all honesty. So it's like just talking about EKKO basically. But yeah, so let's start with the obvious thing. He has 2 health. Yeah, I know, but it's fine. So what does EKKO do exactly? EKKO is a 4-mana 4/2 with quick attack. Okay, kind of bad stat line for a 4-drop, but quick attack's nice. Strike. Create a fleeting time trick in hand. Time trick is the card we saw yesterday, which is the 2-mana burst speed spell that says predict and then draw a card. It's a really good spell. To level up EKKO, you gotta predict 5 times. And leveled up EKKO says he still does the whole striking stuff and getting fleeting time tricks. They cost 0 now, though. And when he levels up, you get 3 Chrono Breaks shuffled in your deck, which is also a card. It is a 3-mana slow speed spell that says revive all allies that died this round, then rally. We'll talk more about that card a little bit later. For now, we're going to just talk about EKKO himself. I don't know. I feel like I might be giving EKKO too much credit. 2 health for a champion is really mediocre. Everyone likes to say like, oh, well, look at LeBlanc. LeBlanc gets played and she has 2 health. She gets paired up a lot with, what's it called? Freljord. Specifically, you get things like Troll Chance. You get things like freezes as well to try and protect LeBlanc. EKKO and PNC doesn't really have anything that good. Like, there is no Troll Chant equivalent. Sure, you can play a secondary region, but you're probably going to want to play Shurima as your secondary region at the moment. So, I don't know. Like, look at other champs that have 2 health or less, like 1 health. They either are really cheap or really powerful, and EKKO is really powerful. They're cheap like and powerful like Zoe, or they're cheap like Teemo, or they have some kind of powerful effect like Fiora or something. Outside of that, sometimes they're just kind of bad, like Zed. Zed's not really that amazing right now because 2 health on a 3-drop's kind of bad. Now, granted, I think Zed might have a home in the upcoming meta. Now then, that's enough talking about like bad things about EKKO. He does seem like he has a lot of potential. I do feel like he's gonna be a champ that you kind of need to build your deck around. He reminds me, I don't think he's a control card. I've seen a lot of people say EKKO is a control card. I don't think he's a control card at all. I feel like he's more of a tempo card, not necessarily aggro, but he's a value engine for a tempo deck. You play like 1 drops, 2 drops, 3 drops, forcing your opponent to play for the board, making it so they can't bank mana and set up their own board and their own turns. You drop an EKKO, and then you start whacking your opponent with EKKO. And eventually just using EKKO to create card draw and card advantage and win the game that way. Seems good. That by itself isn't really a good win con, but it's a good engine. And I like that in EKKO. Compare it to something like, I look at EKKO and I think like, oh, it reminds me of Yasuo. Yasuo, you build the deck around Yasuo, and then the problem is you don't draw Yasuo and your deck feels a little inferior. EKKO, it feels like you're going to build the deck around EKKO by playing like a lot of predicts and other things. But unlike Yasuo, I feel like that kind of deck will be fine if you don't draw EKKO. depending on who you pair up with EKKO, of course, as well. So I know some people are already thinking, myself included, like EKKO Zillion and play it more control-y. I don't think, I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna try that out. I don't think it's that good. But yeah, at the moment, I said it earlier a little bit, but I feel like EKKO has to go with Shurima. A lot of people are saying like, oh, EKKO and Nivea because of all these spells. I think you need to go with Shurima because while PNZ got a lot of predict stuff, I don't think it's enough by itself to play EKKO with something that's not Shurima at the moment. In the future, who knows? Maybe more predict spells will be shown and printed that are not in Shurima. Maybe there will be predict spells in all the regions in the future, or maybe there's more in PNZ by itself. But for now, we gotta kind of go to Shurima. But I think that is good. I think Shurima is a good pair up. Shurima is really good at giving things vulnerable. And thanks to that, EKKO will have safe-ish attacks. You give something vulnerable, you use EKKO to strike and kill whatever you gave vulnerable. He'll give you a time trick in hand. You use that, get a little bit of value, so on and so forth. So your opponent will try to like fight back, but the theory is you'll use EKKO to try and get a little bit of card advantage and grind them out. But against the actual late game decks, I don't think you can try that. And of course, that's not really a thing you can do in every single matchup against every archetype, but I think it's good. So let's talk about the other cards besides EKKO. We got his champ spell called Shot. I don't think it's a good champ spell. It's a little underwhelming to me. 2-mana slow spell, draw 1, create a parallel convergence in your deck. Parallel convergence is a 4-mana slow spell that says start a free attack with an exact ephemeral copy of each ally. It's not terrible, but it's really expensive. So, Called Shot, the only saving grace for it is it does draw 1 card, so it does replace itself, which is nice, but I don't think you would ever play Called Shot in your deck. I think the only reason you would play Called Shot is because you drew 2 EKKOs or something. So, that's nice. But I don't know. Now, of course, again, like I said earlier, EKKO doesn't need to see all the predicts going off, so it's not crazy difficult to get a predict every single turn and have EKKO level up on turn 5, maybe turn 6 if you miss one turn of predictions or something. So that does kind of help out his vulnerability to Mystic Shot and Avalanche, which is not terrible. And with all those predictions you're doing, you should, in theory, be able to help smooth out your draws and be able to pick exactly what you want for the matchup or the deck you're against. But of course, it's all a theory. We'll have to see how the deck works and how it works and how the card works. So I don't know. I do like that EKKO is flexible though. Like, sure, he does have to be in a deck with predict, but PNZ alone, at the moment, in my opinion, doesn't have enough predict, but you could try. But I do like that EKKO is not like stuck to one archetype or something like Nautilus is to sea monsters, and EKKO can go, all he needs is predict in the deck, which is not that difficult. But yeah, I like it. Reminds me of like, I don't know, like a Draven style card. Draven can go in just a variety of decks, aggro, mid-range, etc., etc. So yeah, I like him. Guess it kind of reminds me of Zoe a little bit too. You know, tries to strike and do some combat to get some value. In this case, it's time tricks. In Zoe's case, it's super cool star charts. So I don't think he's the win con, but I do think he's a very good engine that can become a win con, if that makes sense. So who to pair up with EKKO? Zillion? Heimerdinger? Ezreal are all cards to think of, especially with Heimerdinger getting his buff. But we also should talk about the other cards. So, Chrono Break. How good is Chrono Break? It's fine. I don't think it's amazing. Like, it's a good card. Don't get me wrong. Like, 3 mana, it's literally just Relentless Pursuit with extra on top. Now, you can't actually play Chrono Break in your deck. It's not collectible, so there is that. But I think it's good. I don't think it's insane or anything, but it is good. Also because it does shuffle them into your deck and then you have to find them. But again, if you're playing EKKO, you have a lot of predictions or predict cards. So I don't know. Also, you need to have a board, and if you're using this as just a relentless pursuit, it's not terrible, but it's not the worst. Like I feel like the idea it's gonna be I feel like it's gonna be so clunky if that makes sense. Like I feel like a lot of people are gonna try to get so much value out of this card when they don't need to, and they should just use it as like a relentless pursuit. And I feel like that's what will happen eventually. Is people will be like, I'm gonna like do some weird combats to try and get like all of my things die or whatever, and then play Chrono Break. Still though, it is really powerful. You attack and throwing everything into your opponent. Your opponent will block. You play Chrono Break. Everything comes back. You attack in again. That sounds pretty strong on paper. The next card. Next card. Wow, I want to say two words at once, but the next card is called Shot. I think this card is bad, but I don't think it's a bad champion spell. Like, I don't think you will play it in your deck, but it's not the worst kind of champ spell to have for a champion compared to like Kindred's champ spell. And that's only because it draws. If it didn't draw, it'd be pretty bad, but it's fine. So Called Shot is a 2-mana slow spell that says draw 1, create a parallel convergence in your deck. We already see what parallel convergence is. Paying 2 mana to draw a card is fine. Like, I don't think you'd ever play a card that just said pay 2 mana, draw a card, which is kind of what Time Trick is, but you predict and it's burst speed as well, so it's not exactly pay 2 mana, draw slow speed. But look, there's a lot of cards that are 2 mana spells that say draw 1, do something else, like Guiding Touch, Pale Cascade, etc., etc. I don't know. I just taking up some of the spell mana that I'd rather be using on Time Tricks if my EKKO's not leveled up. And honestly, putting in parallel convergences, I'm not the biggest fan of. And then it puts the parallel convergence in your deck, and then you have to find it. And even with predictions, what are the odds of finding it that quickly? There's a lot going on here. So, I don't know. Now, I do think there is potential. There is like some cute stuff you can do with like, again, like parallel convergence. Anivia does seem cute. Maybe some kind of Hecarim ephemeral deck, because it does say star free attack when the exact ephemeral copy of each ally, specifically allies, not followers, so it includes champions. So again, like I said, Anivias and Hecarims. Outside of that though, like I just don't know. I don't really like Called Shot. I don't want to put Called Shot into the deck. Try to and then play or pay 2 mana for Called Shot, creating the parallel convergence, and then trying to find the parallel convergence in the deck. Now, granted, while I think the card is not that good, I do think it might see play, because this feels like a card that's asking to be broken in some kind of weird combo deck, like some kind of like, I feel like there's probably a handful of cards, like a 3-4 card combo that uses parallel convergence to do something crazy. I can't think of it, in all honesty. So yeah, that's going to be it, I believe. I think we've talked about everything. There's only like really 3 cards here: EKKO, Chrono Break. 4 cards, I guess: EKKO, Chrono Break, Called Shot, and Parallel Convergence. So I do like this. EKKO does help out the Predict archetype, which, even though the Predict archetype is bad, I do like playing it. I played a lot of Zoe Zillion and like Zillion Twisted Fate to middling success, but I feel like EKKO Zillion has some life to it. I don't think it's going to be a tier 1 deck, but I do think EKKO breeds a lot of life into a Zillion deck. Now, granted, I wish Zillion would get a little bit of a buff, but you know, that's a lot to ask for. Also, I think EKKO Heimerdinger might be a thing too. You play like EKKO, you play Heimerdinger. You can do this with Zillion too, but then you play like the Drop Borders, the Fallen Felines, some random cards to generate other cards, some Dredgers, Mystic Shots, of course, just a removal suite of PNZ, etc., etc. Now, of course, if you want to do that with Zillion, you have to put in Shurima, so you can't have a secondary region like a Echo Heimerdinger deck does. So you have to play Shurima instead of playing like Targon or Noxus or Demacia like you would with Echo Heimerdinger. But Shurima has some good stuff too. They have like Merciless Hunter, all the vulnerable givers. They have Rite of Negation as well, which is really good. So I'm a big fan of the card. Out of this, Pike and Rek'Sai, Echo is probably my favorite of the three new champions. And I'm a little worried because like a lot of the time the cards and the champions I like feel a little bad. A la Yasuo, Lux, and Karma. Anyway, though, I feel like Echo is going to spawn a large number of decks that people are going to try out because he's a very flexible card and he doesn't really slot into any one pairing right away. And I feel like at least one of them will be a solid tier 2, maybe even a tier 1 deck. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you think Echo is trash, or maybe you think he's just unplayable because he has 2 health. Maybe you think like called shots actually nuts, and maybe you can see a combo that I can't see. I'd love to hear any kind of thoughts you have down below in the comments. And if you just enjoyed the video in general, I'd love it if you could leave a comment or like down below. And if you would like to keep up with the Legends of Runeterra content, that's the word, you can always go and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to catch me playing some Legends of Runeterra, and I'm going to be playing a lot of it actually in the upcoming few days because of the new set, you can always go and check me out over on Twitch TV. My Twitch account is twitch.tv/Senaton. I stream there pretty much every